In the last couple of weeks, my family lost a very close family friend. And so I would like to dedicate my reading this afternoon to Pat Rebar. Her service was yesterday, so this is really sort of in my mind and in my heart. And because of that, I'd like to open with a short poem by W.S. Merwin. To a departing companion. Only now I see that you are the end of spring, cloud passing across the hollow of the empty bowl, not making a sound, and the dew is still here. Thanks. I'm going to start with some haiku from The Color of Water. This anthology is published by Two Autumns Press in California. It's operated by the Haiku Poets of Northern California, and they've been publishing this series for more than 2 decades, and I was really happy to have some work in this collection. The title, The Color of Water, comes from a haiku by the 18th century poet Joan. Young grasses, and between each blade, the color of water. Young grasses, and between each blade, the color of water. A few crumbs on the tablecloth, she says maybe. Anniversary, picking more apples than our basket can hold. Another year we hadn't planned on, wild huckleberries. Raging river, wind blows through my chapped hands. Holding your memory, holding my breath, moonrise. Shortest day, snowberries bend to the ground. Knowing the tides change by its sound, middle age. First snowflakes, my lips cold against the gravestone. Steady rain, my breasts hang lower. In this kiss, all our other kisses, summer solstice. Last rays of sunlight, savoring the taste of a salmonberry. And a few spring haiku from my second collection. A bit of seafoam in my open hands, gratitude. We return, they return, gray whales at Depot Bay. A year older, I brace myself against the undertow's pull. Spring evening, my breath rises into raindrops. And a few more spring haiku from my first book, Northlake. These were all written about the lake that my family has lived on since the mid-1930s. It's a small natural lake up in Washington. It's about 20 miles south of Seattle. The water's surface broken, a fisherman casts in the rain. Lakeshore reeds, the stillness of the heron's legs. My yard, my neighbor's yard, camellia blossoms fall into both. Floating in the flooded yard, first cherry blossoms. Twilight stroll, garden violets becoming more so. Still unopened, single tulip beneath the waxing moon. And now I'd like to share some poems from Spectral Forms that Eric Muller's Trap Rock Books published. And the first three deal with, in some cases, the loss of faith or just that struggle with spiritual faith. Prayer. So much I don't know, don't believe, don't make holy as before. Winter mist fading into twilight, tree-lined foothills becoming one form. When will I try again? The backs of angels. Still on the mantle, a faded blue-gray angel, specks of gold glitter clinging to her age-soft wood. Looking at her and the ornate mirror behind her, we see her entirety at every glance. The dark, worn eyes, the flat heads of nails that hold her wings in place. We have said, no God, no presence here. Hung la omnipresencia de Dios en Nuestra Señora de la Luz as artwork, even as we have a glint of awareness in steeping tea, folding sheets, weeding the chrysanthemum bed, that something about us is without a talisman. Unable to name it, we peer closely at the dusk, catching only the outline of retreat. We've left her there, reflected above the hearth, watching the color on all sides continue to fade. The shell mitten. I once heard the ocean roaring in a shell with its imaginary echoes of origin. What once inhabited that calcium cone has long since moved on, having known the salt taste of transition. And I filled the hollow space with the comfort of belief, evolved from a faith in the unseen, until the emptiness of doubt returned. Seeking assurance, I still scour the beach, but find only detritus, broken crab backs and cracked sand dollars. Wind blows through the grass over the shell midden, nothing left intact to hold to the ear. These next two are somewhat about identity, histories, expectations. The first, a combination of biological and literary history. And there are references to Sappho's lyrics, most of them coming to us on papyrus scraps. I think there's only one complete poem. And then Cynewulf, the oldest of the known Anglo-Saxon poets, and he's known because he embedded his own name in all of his poems. So, and then keratin, the protein that makes up our nails. On reading Sappho's lyrics. Sunday morning, I trace each line of verse with my index finger. Find myself, stopping to study the crescent nail on its tip. In this small bit lies the DNA of my birth parents, the untold stories of ancestry that, if decoded, would allow narratives to emerge, unravel, collide, calling my years of authorship into question. Some histories are better left buried with no hope of resurrection. Origins as untraceable as a missing scrap of papyrus. Information less translatable than a rune. Disguise taken a step farther even than Cynewulf, his name hidden from all but the astute reader. His identity concealed almost as well as in a small keratin sea. My textual body, my found fragment. Summer rain. Crows bathe in it, dust dimples with it. I once ran naked through it into night surf at Monterey. The rooftop sounds repeated strikes. In this mid-year, mid-season cloudburst, I realize I'm unsure of who I am. No, only I'm not who I thought I'd be. The rain keeps falling. The neighbor's sprinkler keeps sprinkling. Its programmed droplets washing away. And a few more haiku. Plans for the future change again. Riptide. Winter solstice. My neighbor takes his life. Silver thaw. The things I won't forgive. My father's cancer. The year ends with a cold moon. Putting on the same clothes as yesterday, New Year's morning. Porch swing. My feelings come and go. So many of my poems deal with some sort of crisis in relationship or faith or something. And so I usually try to end readings with an Ars Poetica titled Practice as some way of bringing closure to a group of poems like that. But my friend Melanie Green has this uncanny knack of sending poems and scraps of poems at just the moment when I need them. So I'm going to end with this by Wendell Berry. Geese appear high over us, pass, and the sky closes. Abandon, as in love or sleep, holds them to their way, clear in the ancient faith. What we need is here. And we pray, not for new earth or heaven, but to be quiet in heart and in eye clear. What we need is here. Thank you.